I personally really like the new Sony ULT Field 7 because it sounds a lot more balanced and open than its predecessor, the Sony XG500. It still has a ton of bass, but the mids are a lot more pronounced and this speaker gets really loud. However, today we have to see how the Sony ULT Field 7 stacks up to the JBL Boombox 3, because there might be a new king in town.
Regarding pricing, both of these speakers retail for $500. However, the Boombox 3 does like to go routinely on sale, and I expect the ULT Field 7 to eventually go on sale as well. Now, I know that there is the JBL Boombox 3 with Wi-Fi, and the Wi-Fi version of this speaker gets a little louder. However, the Wi-Fi version of the Boombox 3 retails for $650, so I don't feel that it's worth that much, and that's why I'm not going to talk about it. Nonetheless, if you're going to pick either of these two speakers up, they'll be linked down below, or you can always press on the YouTube shopping button. And if you want to further support the channel, pick up a Big Head approved hat, link down below. We've got trucker hats and snapbacks. By buying a hat, you help the unbiased and unsponsored videos coming, and it also helps us cover more products and produce more versus videos. Thank you to everyone who's already bought a hat, and look out for more designs coming soon. And also, please remember to hit that like button, and let's get subscribed. So first, there's the design of these speakers. Now, both of these speakers have a cylindrical design to them, meaning that you are going to have to tie them down if you plan on driving with them in the car. But more importantly, the Sony ULT Field 7 is a little larger than the Boombox 3. I don't think that it's a huge deal, but it is worth pointing out. Nonetheless, both of these speakers are great options to take on the go with you because they both have built-in carrying handles, and both of these speakers weigh in a little less than 15 pounds. Actually, the ULT 7 is less dense than the Boombox 3. The only thing that I really miss on both of these speakers are shoulder straps, and I do think that this is a missed opportunity for Sony because you can very easily add one to the ULT 7. But when it comes to overall durability, these two speakers are the same. They both have a mostly fabric wrap body, so they can easily stand up to constant abuse from bumps and scrapes, and they're both water resistant, so rain or if they get splashed on isn't going to be a problem for either of these two speakers. The main difference between these two speakers is that the ULT 7 has a built-in light feature which is tucked away in the passive radiators. Now, I feel that this light feature is okay and you have a few different lighting modes to choose from, but I don't use this light feature because it's just kind of hard to see. So instead, I just use this speaker with its light feature turned off, and I enjoy the improved battery life, because if you do use the light feature on the speaker, that is going to take its toll on the battery life.
Now, when it comes to battery life, the JBL Boombox 3 has an advertised battery life of 24 hours, whereas the Sony ULT Field 7 has an advertised battery life of 30 hours. However, this advertised battery life on the JBL Boombox 3 of 24 hours is with this speaker playing a little below 50% volume. Whereas with the ULT Field 7, its advertised battery life of 30 hours is with this speaker playing at 32% volume, which is already a good listening volume, with the light feature turned off, but with the ULT feature turned on, which is good. And if you were to use this speaker with its light feature turned on, then it's going to be good for around 25 hours of playback time. But real-world use with both of these speakers playing at 80% volume, which I feel is a really good volume to use with friends, then both of these speakers are going to be good for around 8 hours of playback time. However, 80% volume on the ULT Field 7 is slightly louder than 80% volume on the Boombox 3, and this is with the lights on the ULT 7 being turned off. So overall, battery life on the ULT 7 is just a little better than the Boombox 3, but not by much, honestly. But something that I really like about both of these speakers is that they both charge via an AC port. So now with both of these speakers, you can charge them up with any standard AC cable, and you don't have to worry about having to lose an external power brick. And I just like this because it just makes life a little easier. Now, when it comes to connectivity, both of these speakers can be connected to two devices at the same time, so you and a friend can both be DJ. Latency is not an issue for either of these two speakers, so you can use them to watch videos with on your phone. And when it comes to audio codecs, the Boombox 3 has support for SBC and AAC, whereas the ULT 7 has support for SBC, AAC, and LDAC, which is Sony's own in-house high-res audio codec. Just keep in mind that if you do want to use LDAC, you do have to be an Android user because iPhones top out at AAC. Regarding ports, both of these speakers have a USB-A port so that you can either plug in your own devices and charge them up, Or with the ULT 7, you can also plug in a USB stick and play music off of it. Now, personally, I think that is great and all that both of these speakers have USB-A ports, but I still really wish that these speakers had USB-C ports so that you can charge your own devices and or use it as a wired connection like you can with the USB-C port on the Extreme 3, because most phones these days just come with USB-C to USB-C charging cables. But both of these speakers still have your standard 3.5mm audio jack, so you can use them with a wired connection. Now, I know this sounds very basic, but I do have to point this out because we're at a point where 3.5mm audio jacks aren't all that common on smaller speakers now. But something the Sony ULT Field 7 does have over the JBL Boombox 3 is that it does have a single 1/4-inch input, so that you can plug in a microphone for karaoke, or you can plug in a guitar. Just keep in mind that you can only use the ULT 7 with a single wired microphone, and you can't use it with a wireless microphone like the Sony ULT Tower 10.
But with all that out of the way, let's talk about sound. Regarding speaker setup, the Sony ULT 7 has a pretty standard setup of dual front mid-firing woofers, dual front mid-firing tweeters, and dual passive radiators that shoot out the sides. But then there's the Boombox 3, which has a front mid-firing subwoofer, dual front mid-firing woofers with dual front mid-firing tweeters, which are stacked on top of the woofers, and dual passive radiators that shoot out the sides. Now, with both of these speakers, you can go in and you can adjust their EQ to your liking. And in this sound test, we're going to try something new, and we're going to use the Boombox 3 with its bass raised all the way up. Whereas with the ULT 7, you can also adjust its EQ to your liking, or instead, you can use either of its two ULT settings. There's ULT 1, which is going to give you more bass, and then there's ULT 2, which is also going to give you more bass, but it's also going to amplify the mids. And with both of these speakers, if you use them while they're plugged in, they are going to get you a performance boost. They're both going to get louder, and they're both going to have more bass. So now we're going to go ahead and jump into the sound test. Both of these speakers are playing at 87% volume. The Boombox 3 is playing with its bass raised all the way up, and the ULT 7 is playing with ULT 2, and we're also going to be using these speakers while they are plugged in and unplugged. So when it comes to sound quality, I feel that the Sony ULT Field 7 sounds a lot more open and has much better clarity in the mids than the JBL Boombox 3. With the Boombox 3, the speaker just sounded a little narrow at times, and the reason why I used the Boombox 3 with its bass raised all the way up is so that it could have a chance of matching the bass on the ULT 7. But in the real world, the bass on the ULT 7 just hits harder than the bass on the Boombox 3. And personally, I find this very impressive because the Boombox 3 has a full-on front-loop firing subwoofer, which just isn't found on the ULT 7. And when it comes to max volume, the ULT 7 still manages to outperform the Boombox 3. Now, I feel that both of these speakers are good for about 15 people parties when they are both running off of their internal batteries. But like I mentioned earlier, with both of these speakers, if you use them while they're plugged in, they're going to get you a performance boost. They're going to get louder and they're going to have more bass. But still, the ULT 7 still manages to outperform the Boombox 3. So overall, I think the Sony ULT Field 7 is the clear winner here. Now, this speaker gets a little louder and has more bass than the Boombox 3, but more importantly, with ULT 2 turned on, the ULT 7 has a much better definition in the mids and sounds a lot more open than the Boombox 3. Personally, I only use this speaker while it's set to ULT 2, and I think that you should too.
But finally, let's talk about pairing these speakers up with other speakers. Now, with both of these speakers, if you have two of the exact same speakers, then you can wisely pair them up and get them to play in left and right stereo mode. Or with the Boombox 3, since this is a party boost speaker, you can pair it up to other party boost speakers like another Boombox 3, or to a Boombox 2, an Extreme 3, a Charge 5, a Pulse 5, a Pulse 4, a Flip 5, or to a Flip 6. And you can pair up to 100 speakers together and get them to play in sync. But also, you can pair these party boost speakers up to upcoming Auracast speakers like either a JBL Extreme 4, a Clip 5, or a Go 4. But unfortunately, you cannot connect your Boombox 3 to any of JBL's larger party box speakers like either the Party Box Encore, 110, 310, or to a 710. And you also cannot connect your Boombox 3 to any of JBL's newer party box speakers that are also using Auracast, like let's say a Party Box 120, 320, or Ultimate. And also, you cannot connect the standard Boombox 3 to the Boombox 3 with Wi-Fi or the Charge 5 with Wi-Fi. But then there's the Sony ULT 7, which is using Sony's Party Connect, and you can wirelessly connect it to other Party Connect speakers like either another ULT 7 or to an XG500, XG300, XE300, XE200, or to an XP43, XP33, or to an XP23, and you can pair up to 100 speakers together as well, and you can get them to play in sync. But the really cool thing about Sony's Party Connect is that you can connect your smaller, more portable speakers to Sony's larger speakers, like let's say the Sony ULT Tower 10, XV900, XV800, XV500, or to an XP700 or to an XP500. The only sad thing here is that you cannot connect your ULT 7 to Sony's new ULT Field 1 because unfortunately the ULT Field 1 does not have Party Connect. But overall, Sony's Party Connect is a lot more accommodating than JBL's Party Boost because there is a lot of fragmentation going on with the JBL's ecosystem. The important thing here is with both of these speakers, they have decent performing speaker pairing protocols and they both have a lot of speakers to choose from. The leg up that JBL has here is that you just have to press one button on your speakers to pair them up, or at Sony, you have to use the app. But the leg up that Sony has here is that there's less fragmentation and you can pair your smaller speakers to your larger box speakers.
But with all that being said, if I had to choose between the Sony ULT Field 7 and the JBL Boombox 3, for me, it's an easy choice. Personally, I prefer the Sony ULT Field 7 because it sounds a lot more balanced and a lot more open than the JBL Boombox 3. I also like that it gets louder, and I like that even though it has better instrument separation than the Boombox 3, it also still has a lot of bass as well. The 1/4 inch input on the ULT 7 is a nice touch as well, and I like that you can connect your smaller speakers to your larger box speakers as well. The only drawback about the ULT 7 is that this thing is a little larger than the Boombox 3. If you made it this far, I guess you enjoyed the video, so hit the like button and get subscribed. If you want to pick any of the products up, they'll be linked down below. And if you want to further support the channel, check out the merch. I made some shirts and hoodies that look and feel great. And you know I can be very particular, so I'll only slap my name on something if I'm really proud of it.